To each and every one of you. I just want to quickly give a quick update, okay, based on the market sentiment at this moment. Now, understanding that today is a significant day also because if you look into the market watch, right, today we have the initial jobless claim. This is sometime 8:30, right, 8:30 New York time. We also have the CPI report that is coming out today. So this is going to basically define the situation of the market. And I believe that we're going to see a quite a volatile situation today because the CPI will determine the inflation, right? And this is going to basically affect the decision of the Federal Reserve whether the interest rate is going to continuously, they're going to continuously cut the interest rate, in the next decision making, or are they going to basically hold the interest rate cut, okay? Or are they going to basically decide otherwise whether they want to go for 25 basis point instead of 50 basis point? So if you look into the initial jobless claim, this is the previous 225, all right? And if you look into the forecast, it's around 230. Thereafter, we have the consumer price index, okay, and also we have the core CPI. So these are basically the numbers that we are looking at. So hitting these numbers, okay, will actually move or actually, affect the movement of the market right today. So let's wait and look, for the situation, how does this scenario is going to play out. Okay, now I would like to quickly give you what do I expect, what am I expecting to see when the CPI report is out. Sometime during the CPI reporting itself, we might not see much of the movement because please understand that the CPI report is around 8:30, right? But the stock market opens around 9:30. So normally, right, after the CPI report and we wait for the stock market to open, and then when the stock market opens, that's where we will start to see a lot of movement in the market itself. So the movement can be very dynamic, right? Very dynamic. Sometimes we can see spikes. Sometimes a lot of the stop losses or liquidity can be taken, which I'm going to explain to you what is my expectation. Okay, now first thing first is that I've shown this data, but I just want to once again, okay, emphasize a few important things that I want you to understand what is really taking place. Okay, now if you look at Bitcoin, right, I think this has been since most probably around March 2024, we have seen Bitcoin moving in this in this channel, right, in this channel. Now this has been probably one of the longest trails, okay, one of the longest movement within this channel. And I believe that during this period of time, a lot of these holders, okay, or a lot of investors are getting exhausted. They are even getting bored with the situation of the market. But this is, I believe, is how the market has been playing out, or how the whales are basically, or the institution basically wanted it to be, because they want to take out as much as investors, as much as hodlers as possible who are bought, so that they will sell their holdings, okay, they will sell their bitcoins and so on, so that this bitcoin will then be bought by the whales. Okay, I think that is basically what is been happening, because people emotionally, right, if you look into humans don't have patience. So when they don't have the patience to wait, what they will do is that they will basically just let go, right? They will just sell it at loss, and that is it. When they sell it at loss, the whales are waiting, the institutions are waiting to basically purchase this Bitcoin, right? Now the other important thing that I want you to notice is that not only it is moving within the channel, okay, it is basically also, if you look at that, I have put this pivot line, okay. This pivot line, which is a $60,000, is a very, very, I will say, a significant emotional pivot line. All right. Now, Bitcoin has to hold this 60,000, or else once Bitcoin break the 60,000, and comes down, right, then it's going to be basically a very it can start to build up a bearish sentiment, right? A bearish sentiment. But if Bitcoin can hold 60,000, I believe Bitcoin has to retest, the key resistance level around 66, which is basically the same level which is rejected. Can you see that? Bitcoin has to remain 60,000 and start to move towards 68,000 if we're going to see a bullish sentiment. But if you look, all right, I doubt, okay, looking into what has been happening at this moment and also looking into the money flow, right? The money flow has already basically broken the 50%, 50% range, which I believe that this is going to go even further down. And looking into how many times, right? If you look at how many times, okay, how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times on the daily candle. Okay, it has actually been basically, right, been pressing and been hitting back at this 60,000 level. And based on our understanding, all right, once you hit that level, once you hit the wall again and again and again and again, that level is going to give up. That level is going to be weakened. All right, so this is exactly what I'm seeing. Bitcoin most probably will start to break this level, okay, this level. But before that, okay, I want you to understand that we have a CPI report coming in today. So since we have a CPI report coming in today, so what do I expect? All right, that's the most important thing. What do I expect? What am I predicting? Where could we see Bitcoin move first before we start to see Bitcoin coming down? Okay, that is the important thing. So I believe that with the CPI report that is coming in, right, we're going to look at a few things here before before I actually predict and give you my thought where we're going to see Bitcoin moving very quickly. Right now, first of all, let's just take a look at the Bitcoin CME gap, right? For the CME gap, we use the normal candle, right? Now, what I really want to look at here is that if you look into the CME gap, I have actually put up a gap here, right? I've actually put up a gap here. If you look into that, we have a gap, okay? We have a gap here, a very tiny gap here, around 62,600. So that it can be around 62 or 63,000 gap, okay? So Bitcoin, I expect, right? I expect this gap to be filled. But please also, okay, please also take note that we have a gap, all right, which I've actually put up the gap here, right? We have a gap somewhere around 54,000. Can you see that? On the 4 hours, we have a gap. On the 1 hour, we have a gap at around 62,600. Let's take it about 63,000. And we have a gap, at the bottom around 54,000. All right. Now, these are the two gaps, okay, that you need to really be watchful. And also, right, we do have other gaps at the bottom, but let's just look into this gap first, because I believe if this gap is filled, then we will be able to see other sentiment playing out, okay? So this is in terms of the gap itself, all right? Now, let's just move on, okay? Move on back into the Bitcoin chart, right? So if you look at other factors here, right, I think everything is playing out very nicely at this moment. Things are just laying out, for what is going to happen during the CPI reporting. Now, if you look at the 1 hour chart, right? 1 hour, we are basically already at the oversold area. So that simply means, right, what I'm seeing is that it is already been basically, right, been building or been prepared in such a beautiful way that we might see on the 1 hourly moving towards the overbought area. All right. So this could probably be within the next few hours. Even before the CPI reporting comes out, we could even see Bitcoin price actually move much higher. And then if you look into the 4 hours time frame, right, it's the same thing. Can you look into it? So Bitcoin might, okay, move towards the upper trend here. It can actually move up and basically go towards this overbought area, right? Overbought area. So we have about few hours, okay, few hours to go. Currently it's around basically, I think, about 2:30 or 2:15 in the morning. So we have a few hours to go, before, sorry, it is now about 2:15 afternoon, okay, US time. So we have about, few 4 to 8 to 12 hours or so, right, to be able to see this play out. So most probably, right, on the 1 hour, I think it can go to the overbought area. And then from there, right, on the 4 hours, we might see it actually reach the 50% money flow target area over here. And then we could see a revision taking place. All right, now, please understand, okay, the other thing that also align with this theory is the liquidation. So if you look at the liquidation for the next 24 hours, right, we have a liquidation here at around we have a liquidation here piling up. Okay, this is around 62,400. Can you see that? 62,400. Also, let's say it can actually take all the way up to 63,000. So you can see that this thesis is playing out correctly, right? Based on the CME gap around 62,600, right? 62,600, 63,000. So we have a gap over there. So this is what I really think that is going to happen. We're going to see Bitcoin price basically move up, okay, move up within a 62,000, 600 to maybe 63,000, and basically take up the liquidity over here. All right, once this liquidity is taken, if you look into the 1 week, right, 1 week, we have massive liquidity at the bottom here. That is around 300 over million liquidity waiting somewhere around 59. Can you see that? 59 all the way down here. You can actually go all the way down. But what I'm saying is that if you have a liquidity here at 59, that means that 60,000 is going to be broken, right? 60,000 will break. So this is what I'm expecting. We could see a slight move upside to take the liquidity around 63,000, and then we're going to see a massive dump. Bitcoin will start to break the 60,000 and come all the way down probably around 54,000 to actually fill up the gap, the CME gap around 54,000. All right. Now, if 54,000 doesn't hold, then I believe so we could even actually retest 52,000, and high likely, okay, high likely, I don't want that to happen, but if it happened, then we could even see 49,000. Okay, so that could actually put a Bitcoin in a very, very, vulnerable position, because as the price goes down, that is going to create unnecessary fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and many who are holding Bitcoin will even actually sell those Bitcoin. Okay, now apart from the CPI report that is coming, we also been hearing that US is going to sell a huge amount of Bitcoin that they confiscated. That is also creating unnecessary fear and panic already, and this could be the reason why a lot of the sell-off is taking place. All right, so please understand that even the institution, okay, the ETF institutions are selling their Bitcoin. I believe so. They understand that Bitcoin price will have to come down, okay, probably below 50 or even 40s, so that they can sell it now and then buy back at the bottom. Now, on the other hand, right, please also understand that if we look into the DXY, okay, DXY is basically going up. So this is basically we can see that there is a basically anti-correlation, right, between Bitcoin and the DXY itself. So when DXY goes up, then you start to see all the other assets actually comes down. Okay, but the thing is that also understand that if you look into the 10-year yield, even the 10-year yield is actually going up. So currently the 10-year yield is already actually exceeding 4%. Now that simply means that a lot of money is actually going into the stock market. So most probably a lot of these investors are selling their gold, their silver, their commodity stocks, and they are basically putting their money into Nasdaq, into S&Ps and so on, because they are seeing a renewed interest into this stock at this moment. So it is a bit worrying, right, to be able to see that a lot of these stocks price are going up and even hitting all-time high, and even moving. We could probably see a parabolic movement of the stock market. So this could be a massive reason, okay, and I believe so because of the revision of the interest rate, and interest rate is becoming cheaper. There are a lot of money now going into the stock market. Even with what we are seeing in China, China has actually basically ramp up on their interest rate. They basically are slashing their interest rate. We are seeing a lot of money is actually even going into the China market. So please understand that when the yield and also the DXY starts to move up, okay, for the DXY, right, I have a target here. Basically, I'm looking at DXY hitting the 105 or probably 104, right, 104 over here, hitting this 104 level. So there is still a massive room for DXY to move up, and this massive move will definitely translate into a massive move, okay, of Bitcoin, right, of Bitcoin coming down. So that's the reason why I believe it is correlating, perfectly, right? Things are playing out perfectly. This thesis is playing out perfectly. We already see a massive rejection few days ago, and this massive rejection, we are already starting to see sellers are coming in to basically sell Bitcoin, all right? So this is a very significant insight for our team. So and please understand that during this period, okay, during this period, there can be massive volatility. There can be huge, movement of the market. Things can get real crazy. There are panics going on and so on, right? So if you're part of JDX bot, understand that, okay, we are still within this range, and within this range, and a lot of the bots have been safeguarded, and even some of the bots are already starting to even, okay, reaping in the profits and so on. So I believe that this kind of insights will help you to understand where we are going, right, in terms of the Bitcoin price itself. I believe that a lot of the influencers, a lot of people are really expecting that Bitcoin will hit the all-time high. They're expecting 100,000, 150,000, but I think it will not be that soon at this moment, due to the uncertainty of the market, and also due to the stimulus of the interest rate, and also with the upcoming election that is coming. Now please understand, all right, everyone says that September will be the worst month, but September was one of the best months when it comes to Bitcoin performance. And now everybody expecting October will be the best month. Am I right? October. So they say that it is not October, but it is October, right? But please understand that September, they thought that the market will be bearish, but September was one of the best performing month. But please understand that when you are expecting for something to be, to be October, right, to be really great, especially October, probably things are playing out the other way around. So when the market is expecting something, right, when 90% of the market participants are expecting that the price will go up, it will then start to play against them. This is what we are seeing at this moment. And also with the geopolitical tension that is taking place in the Middle East, I believe so, right? There's going to be a lot of panic taking place, a lot of selling off of this risk asset, all right? Will be on the table. People may actually convert their money into gold, or they might even convert their money into cash and hold things in cash, until a market is stabilized and so on, okay? So this war is going to basically, create a lot of chaos even in terms of the oil price and so on. So hopefully, right, things does not really escalate and become serious to World War III, and then we start to see recession and so on. And this is going to be, a huge disadvantages, to many of us, and also to the economy of the world. All right, so I hope that this insight is helpful. I trust that you are able to basically decipher your investment. You're able to manage your position, your investment wisely, and understand exactly what is going on. So let's look forward for the CPI, okay, tonight, today at around 8:30 US time. Let's look forward and see how does the market is going to react. All right, so with that, I would like to say thank you so much. Have a great day ahead, and I hope to catch up with each and every one of you once again. God bless you all.